And hour number 3 kicks off with a man who just put a 3-piece down on C.J. Stroud in the divisional round playoff victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. 8 sacks, 3 of them from George Karlaftis, joining us here from the Kansas City Chiefs here on the Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, George.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And what year are you in the National Football League?
My 3rd year.
Hey.
How about that?
It's like Sesame Street. It's brought to you by the number 3. Did you wake up dangerous on Saturday, George? Did you? What happened?
I actually woke up to a bunch of text messages on our D-line thread, about how excited everybody was to play in the game. So I guess you could call it that.
Okay, so who's on the D-line thread, George?
I mean, our coaches, Coach Cullen, Coach Braden, and then every single defensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And who's the leader of this text chain?
Obviously Coach Cullen.
Okay.
And, Chris Jones probably too, for sure.
Okay. What is this text chain called? What is it entitled on the phone? What is it called?
I think it's just Chiefs D-line.
Come on, man. Come on. We got to come up with a better one than that.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Well, so you're waking up and you're just looking down at the phone. Everybody's like, let's go get it. That's basically what it is right now?
Basically, yeah.
All right. So what were you able to affect on this day, George, that you can bring to bear? What were you able to do with this 3-sack day that you can kind of crystallize it for everybody here, man?
Really for us, it really started with our game plan. We played these guys not too long ago, December 21st, and we had a good grasp. We didn't sack them but once or twice the last time, and we had a really good plan. Coach Spags and Coach Cullen had a great plan going into the week, and really all of us playing together. The front end playing with the back half, and everybody kind of doing their job and trusting in each other and in ourselves, and really getting after it. So it was really just everybody working together. That's what I'd say on that.
When sacks comes in bunches, do you know how many? Do you know that this is my 3rd, that you knew you had a hat trick when you got him again? Did you know that?
I mean, not that you're counting, but yes, I knew.
Well, I mean, but 8 as well. Were you guys aware of that too, that you were, or you were just realizing that we've been getting them a bunch today?
We just know we were getting him down, and when we weren't sacking him, I feel like we did a good job just affecting him in various different ways, just with pressure and getting after him, blitzes, 4-man rushes, 3-man rushes, what have you. You don't really count the sacks really after the game. You're like, oh, wow, we had 8 sacks. That's a huge day. So, I think, getting after the quarterback and the back half really covering and doing their job too. And just kind of all of us playing together is one of the reasons why we won the game.
And in terms of, you said obviously you had taken on the Texans and not to the distant past. The Bills are the only team that's beaten you this year in a game that Mahomes has started. How much does that stick in your craw going into this AFC Championship game, George?
Absolutely. I mean, they know us and we know them. We've played them a good amount, at least twice since every year since I've been in the league. So it's really exciting. It's going to be a heavyweight battle. We have a lot of respect for those guys. What Josh Allen can do. Their running back, their receivers, their O-line. They're great, and there's a reason why they're in the AFC Championship. So we're going to have to be in our A game because this is a dangerous squad.
What is the challenge in trying to rush Josh Allen, George?
Really, with Josh Allen, he's you got to start. He's got a great O-line. I know he gets a lot of the praise, but they got a really good O-line. We got a lot of respect for them. We've seen them a lot. So they got a great O-line, and obviously what Josh Allen can do, both throwing and running the ball. He's a great athlete, and he's like built almost like a tight end or a defensive end. He's like 6'5", 250 or so pounds, and he can really move too. So we got a lot of respect for those guys.
Well, is there such a thing like you don't want to get too far upfield? You don't want him to go to a certain direction? Like, walk me through
all of that. You want to do your best containing him, and affecting him in any way you can. Obviously, with him and really with any quarterback in the league, that's at that level. Just want to do as much as you can to affect him. And each quarterback has their tendencies of what they like to do and stuff like that. So it's on us to figure out, those tendencies and do our best to try to stop them.
How has the coaching staff brought the best version of you out, George Karlaftis? What can you tell me about?
Not just in me, but in everybody, just demanding our best every single day. Starting from Coach Andy Reid, going down to Spags, Joe Cullen, Terry Braden for me, D-line. They demand your best every single day.
How do they do that? Well, how do they do that?
It's really ingrained in the culture here. You kind of know what's expected. There's been a lot of continuity in the staff and the personnel here, the players, to where everybody knows what's expected, and you really there's a lot of trust in the coaches. So like we know that they're looking out for us and they're coaching us, and we know and we've trusted that their coaching and what they're telling us is going to help us be successful both as individuals and as a team, more importantly. So it's really just that. It's a relationship out of trust and love with everybody.
When your phone rang on draft night, who was the one on the other end, George?
So it was the three people I talked to. I don't remember the specific order. There was a lot of stuff going on. I talked to Brett Veach, I talked to Andy Reid, Spags, and I talked to Clark Hunt as well. So 4.
So what was the general message to you?
I think they were just excited. They were excited. They're like, we're gonna put this pick in. There's a lot of stuff going on draft night, as you can imagine, especially when you're getting that call. But I was relieved. And there's just a lot of excitement. I think that the videotaping of the call or the audio of it is on YouTube somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just a lot. It was a lot of excitement, from Coach Reid, just being able to hear and to hear from all those guys, and just really was excited to get to work at that point.
George Karlaftis here in the Rich Eisen Show off of a 3-sack game in the divisional playoff round victory for the Chiefs, getting set for the Bills in the AFC Championship game. George, this is year 22 for me in the NFL, covering it with the NFL Network. The only reason why I bring this up is I've been around. Right. So when I say this, it comes from experience. You're not supposed to make the Super Bowl every year, right, George?
Well, right? That's the goal. The goal every single year is to do that.
No, I know, but usually that doesn't happen. Like you come out of college, you make the Super Bowl, you win it as a rookie, and then your second year you make the Super Bowl and you win it.
Right. I've been blessed. I've been blessed. I've been in a great situation, really, with great coaches and great teammates, and we've been able to get it done. So it's been the honor of a lifetime to be a part of this team and this defense.
What's it like going against Mahomes in practice, George?
Oh my gosh! I mean, in training camp, it's just kind of like he can do whatever. I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best, to ever do it. So we have all the respect in the world for him, and we know and we trust that he's making us better. It's one of the better offenses that we'll see all year, and Andy Reid training camps are really hard. So going at each other every single day, as hard as we possibly can, makes us better, and I think that's one of the reasons why we've had the success we've had.
Well, I'm sure you were watching him win championships and make championship games while you were in college in Purdue. What was your first moment where you realized, okay, the Mahomes stuff is real, George?
I think my freshman year in college, or probably my senior year in high school, really.
Yeah.
It was like 2018, 2019, or like, all right, this guy's the truth, basically. And ever since then, I mean, he keeps on showing it and proving why he is who he is.
Well, I mean, you personally witnessing it, you as a teammate, you were seeing him do his thing behind the scenes, or in practice. Like, what moment was that for you where like, okay, this is the real thing here?
I think it was my rookie year in training camp. There was a specific point where I had to peel on the back, and then he kind of baited me, and I was like in the middle, kind of like in baseball. There's like the guy between two bases, basically, and I was like that, and he like kind of faked me out, and I was like, I can't win here, basically, and that was my personal welcome to Patrick Mahomes, I guess.
So he checkmated you right off the bat, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know if it was right off the bat. It was probably maybe a week into training camp.
How about Kelce? When did he first take notice of you, George?
Well, Trav, is one of my favorite guys. And the great thing about Trav is that the first day I came to the locker room, he was one of the first guys like, "Hey, I'm Travis, nice to meet you." And I was like, I know who you are. It was just awesome that, he's such a humble dude, come up and say what's up to me. But, I got familiarized with Travis and, his greatness. I mean, obviously, you know it from before, but he has this, he like almost like is like shaking, at all times, and he kind of messes with your eyes. So I drop into coverage every now and then, and him being a tight end, me being a defensive end, we have to go against each other, and
Yeah.
he's to block me a few times and all that stuff, and he has the so-called vet tricks that he's pulled out. And one of the first time we went against each other, he pulled one of those out, and I was out of my gap. And I was like, all right, now I know I got to bring my stuff when Travis is blocking me.
And he'll chip you every now and then? Is what you're saying? Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean, he'll chip, he'll chop, he'll mess with your eyes, he'll change his alignments. He does a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah.
And how has Chris Jones made you better?
I mean, I'm with Chris every single day. Really, words can't describe, how much he has helped me. My rookie year, I was fortunate enough to have great vets, in Chris and Frank Clark and in Carlos Dunlap, a few other guys too. But with Chris, we've been together ever since then, and that's kind of who I look to for advice on the field and off the field too. He pushes me every single day to become better, demands the best out of me. And he's still like my vet, like almost like an older brother. And I really appreciate everything he's done for me, because I know that he's making me a better player every single day.
It's interesting you mentioned Frank Clark's name, George, because the list of Kansas City players with 3 or more sacks in the playoffs are the following: Frank Clark in the divisional round against Houston in 2019, and George Karlaftis in the divisional round against Houston in 2024. That's it. That's the list in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs, brother. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It really is. Last one for you. Most important question, George, of them all. Have you met? You know what I'm asking about? Have you met? You have no idea.
I
don't know what you're about to talk about, so I'm ready.
Have you met Taylor Swift yet, George?
I have met her, yes.
Okay. Well, that's not the. I guess I asked her yes or no question.
I mean,
what were the circumstances? What do you got for me? What do you got, George?
The first time I met her was after one of the games.
Okay.
And it was with my girlfriend and Travis, obviously, and we were just kind of blown away, just because obviously I know Travis and I've known him for some time, but just how much of a normal person she is, just super humble, super kind, just awesome to be around, and very much like 87, so when you meet that big of a superstar, it's not what you expect, but that's how she was and is, and that's how Travis too.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, superstars all of it. Caitlin Clark, another Big Ten finest that was hanging out in the suite with her over the weekend. I mean, you're making the Super Bowl every year. You're meeting Taylor Swift. What the hell's going on in your life, George? It's pretty amazing. Congratulations.
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Yeah, last one for you. Were you like me last night? I'm a Michigan guy. I mean, I'm sure Purdue doesn't like Notre Dame very much, and definitely doesn't like Ohio State. How'd you watch that game last night, man?
I was watching it rooting against both teams. So, I've gone up against both teams and I've lost them, so I was rooting against both. I was a Purdue fan last night.
You know what?
Even though they weren't playing, I was a Purdue fan.
You and I were rooting for the Meteor, George. Never cared. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Hey, congrats on everything going on in your career, and I look forward to seeing what's next for you. Good luck in the AFC Championship game. Appreciate you spending some time here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. That's George Karlaftis of the Kansas City Chiefs right here on The Rich Eisen Show, everybody. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.